All right, everybody. We are excited. The Detroit Lions are coming off a win that, Chris, was even better than I expected it to be. I had a good feeling about this game. I did, but I didn't know we would have the type of absolute domination that we had. Chris, what was your confidence level going into this, and how excited are you coming off of this victory 42-17 over the Broncos?
I was confident too. I felt this was a very, home atmosphere.
Mhm.
Goff is better at home. A lot of different things that I just felt good about. But for me, it was like, man, this is what we've been so spoiled and so like not spoiled this whole season. Where,
I know.
man, when we win, we dominate, and it's like let's go, and everything runs well. When we don't, it's really bad. But this was great. So for me, I'll start with the defense. I just was really pleased with the defense. Got the ball back to the offense. Things kept rolling. So this was a great win. And I was really impressed and really happy to see the defense just play really well, bring some different blitzes. So I was confident going in, but man, the defense really, really surprised me.
Yeah, the defense, I agree. That was kind of the surprise to me too. And I think what was so good and why this win was even better than we thought is it's the first time. So we saw glimpses of this with Aaron Glenn over the last few weeks, but he finally just said, honestly, he just said, screw it. I'm going to blitz every single play. And he did. And he usually brought 6 people. It wasn't a one-man blitz. It was a 2-person blitz. He blitzed safeties. He blitzed corners. He blitzed linebackers. Like, he blitzed from anywhere and everywhere. And Russell Wilson, who's always kind of been that king of improvisation, and you saw the stats with the game. Like, if he gets more than 2.5 seconds, he's one of the best in the league and one of the best in the business. And Aaron Glenn was just like, nope, we're not going to let you do that. I'm going to do something I haven't done all year, because he finally realized the front four, they're just not going to get home. They need help. And that's why this defense was so much better today.
Yeah.
So much better.
And this win was better than even appeared because of Melon Fanwu. How about
I did a video on him this week.
Yeah, he just played so well. He looks different out there. He's got a burst defensively, knocks the balls away, blitzing, coverage, physical. And the combination of Tracy Walker and the other safety,
Kirby
Kirby
Joseph. Yeah.
Joseph,
No.
is skinny and weak. And it's like, where's our guy, right? That can just kind of bring the hammer, bring some physicality. And it changed the defense. The defense in a lot of different ways, but that Melon Fanwu was a big difference tonight. I loved it.
Oh, he was a baller. I mean, he was second in the team in tackles. He had 9 tackles.
Dude.
5 solo tackles. He had 1 tackle for loss. He had a couple pass breakups. I mean, the guy did, honestly, his best CJ Gardner-Johnson impersonation, didn't he? Oh. And no, there wasn't an interception or anything like that. But that play, I don't remember what tight end it was coming over the middle, when he just high pointed it and legitimately punched it out after he caught it. What an amazing defensive play. What a good move too by Glenn to be like, look, Tracy, you've been here a long time. We appreciate you. We're going with Iffy. And he's not looking back. And that was a really good play.
No, and so you got him, you got Branch making plays. I thought the defensive line did well enough, and then but really we've said this all along. Our offense is the engine to this team. It's got to be playing well. We got to have it. So let's start with Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, just when you see him now, what are your thoughts as you see him and what he's doing out there?
Yeah, my thoughts on Jahmyr Gibbs, and it was one of these things. I was going to talk about this a lot later in this video too. I think he's Chris Johnson 2.0. You remember Chris Johnson for the Titans, 2,000-yard rusher. He is unbelievable. His contact balance. I mean, like, it is getting to the point now where if they pitch the ball to him to the outside or they run him outside the tackle in any way, shape, or form, it's almost unfair. Like, there's nothing the defense could do. And I understand the Broncos are a little bit weaker of a pass or a rush defense. They weren't great, but like, the numbers don't lie. Look at this thing. I mean, Gibbs is sitting here 11 carries for 100 yards. It was too easy for him. I mean, he's bouncing off tackles. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how good he is.
That's why, like we were talking about, this is a great win. You go to 10-4. All the things are great, but we just saw Boy, man, you get a two-headed monster at running back, but
Yeah.
it's more than a two-headed monster. It's like, whoa, that's different. First time we've seen a different running back in a long. I mean, really seriously since like you maybe a season here, season there with like a Reggie Bush or a quick little season here, but nothing since Barry Sanders have we seen like, ooh, that looks different.
Mhm.
That little run right there should have been maybe a 7-yard run. He took it 24 because he got through that initial line of scrimmage. All that stuff is just different. And that's the stuff you need when you talk about a playoff team, when you talk about a team winning some playoff games. So that's why, yes, this win is awesome, but we really got to see some other things that maybe I wasn't expecting. I mean, just Jahmyr Gibbs, dude, just I love the burst. You can tell
That's
he's just
unbelievable.
got the NFL game starting to slow down for him because he slows down when he should. He's patient when he should, but man, he's got burst and he gets just crushed and he just spins
He
off it, keeps
pops
going.
out, yeah. It's unreal, and, I mean, he came into the game averaging 5.4 yards per carry. That didn't go down. That only went up. He was
Oh,
number 2 in the NFL in yards per carry. And Michael with the comment, thank you. That is the one thing that I should have said, because I thought it 3 or 4 times in the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's better than Bijan Robinson. Like, I can honestly say I'd rather have Gibbs on my team than Bijan, and that's saying something because when you watch Bijan play, he's special. But when I was watching this game, the multiple runs he had to the outside, and I think the biggest one for me was, what was it? It was 3rd and 8, 9, or 10, and we just ran kind of a little trap
yeah,
play to him. And he takes it, between the guard and tackle, accelerates out to the sideline, gets a first down, and I'm like, we got him. He's on our team. And like for the next 4 or 5 years, you just know you have the fastest guy on the field, and there's nothing they can do about it when he's healthy.
absolutely. And I love this here. I made a video about this week. Just JMO, what's going on? And you could tell making effort to get it to him, which thank you, loved it. A lot of it
Thank
didn't
you.
work really, but JMO was a part of this game for the first time in his career. He was really a part of it, caught some tough balls, got twisted up. I mean, all that stuff's like that is so encouraging to see.
Well, it's encouraging to see. And JMO, here's the thing. Like, I know you said a lot of it didn't work. A lot of it did though. Cause
Mm,
I mean, they targeted him 7 times. In those 7 targets, he ended up with 4 catches for 47 yards. He had 1 contested catch that was remarkable. I mean, he almost got hurt on the play, sat out for a couple plays, came back in. And it's true. Like, they haven't learned how to connect on the deep ball.
yep.
Um, I mean, but like over the middle, there's a couple times in a scramble drill where they found him. Like that's really good. In this offense, you can see the difference on this offense when they're saying, you know what, we're going to target JMO as much as anybody else. And when they do that, the offense looks different because you have to respect the deep speed. You just do.
Dude, and that's it. And then so we're kind of rapid firing on these a little bit. The next because there's so much, but
Well, there's so much.
the next one is and I'm going to gloss over this just a little bit. We'll get back to him in a second, but I mean St. Brown comes back. So again, not it's not just that we won this game, it's that St. Brown gets back in the groove of things. And then but the one I really want your opinion on is how Sam Laporta is literally like a top tight end in the National Football League. What an advantage when you have a top tight end.
Like, we drafted him and everybody's like, okay, this is good. He's a receiving tight end. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Me and you were on the live feed for the draft. I'm sure we'll do it every year. Join us for the draft.
Mhm.
But like, it was one of those things where we drafted him. We're like, this is good. And then we realized he was the yak yardage leader in college football, even as it like not just, I think it was all positions. And that first touchdown that he had today, where it was just him and the other guy on the sideline, and he kind of gave a little shimmy and used his off arm and just threw him to the side and ended up getting into the end zone. I looked at my wife. We were watching the game together, and I said, "He's Travis Kelce." Like, I mean, or Otto and Mahomes, or whatever you want to say.
Mhm.
Like he's starting to remind me legitimately of Kelce. His wiggle, his shake, his ability to get open. It's remarkable. 3
He
more touchdowns. I'm glad he's on my fantasy football team in a dynasty league. I'm gonna tell you that much.
he reminds me of Gronk, where Gronk
Oh,
was just smooth for a big burly, kind of looked weird because Gronk was so smooth out there for being a big guy, and that's what Laporta's. He's a good size. He doesn't have that Hawkinson little, not little, but Hawkinson's more of a receiving tight end for sure. But Laporta has that ability to block, be in line, but also is smooth, man. And it's just,
oh, he's
man,
smooth.
it's you start looking around and it's like, all right, man. And again, it goes back to, and we'll just the last thing we can hit on the next topic, but it goes back to the offensive line. Just really played well tonight. Goff was able to sit back there. I felt comfortable watching.
I
Usually it's
know.
like, yeah, because
Yeah.
Goff's trying to make a play, but he can't make up for his lack of mobility. So he's throwing it while he's getting pulled down. It's just interception city. But I just felt comfortable tonight with the offensive line and what they were doing.
I felt comfortable with what they were doing, and I was actually getting really nervous. First 3 series, Goff looked okay. We couldn't get past their 40. 3
Yep.
times we got on their side of the field and then just done. And Goff panicked a couple times and I got nervous, but then we started getting drives. And by midway through the second quarter, I would say to late in the first half, Goff all of a sudden got pressured a couple of times, but he had enough confidence where he made the throw while getting pressured. And I was like, "Oh boy, this is gonna be a good game for Goff."
Dude.
And 5 touchdowns later, like 5. I don't know if you saw this. 5. Like, that's remarkable. And this may have been like, he missed a couple throws, don't get me wrong, but everybody's gonna. This may have been his most efficient and best game he's played as a quarterback for the Lions, coming off what is arguably the worst month he's had as quarterback for the Lions. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think this could be the best game he's played?
Yeah, I do. I think this was just a great under control, hitting the guys that when they were open. And then really there was no bad throws. I mean, there was
Right.
never missed a couple, just incomplete, but it was never like, oh geez, or a couple games he has those close call type of throws where it's
Mhm.
like, oh geez, that should have been picked. Like there was none of that. So I this was great. 5 TDs, man. Just an all around. Again, we keep talking about this video, and we'll switch to another topic here after this comment. But
I got
you
something for you.
you 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 win. I get that you go to 10-4, but every win and every loss is different. And this win just completely feels different. Confidence booster, everything that we needed coming home. Going to be on the road for the next 2 weeks. Like all the
Mhm.
things that you needed to have, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. Great win.
Great.